Hello, everybody. How are we all? Hello. Right, so let's do hello to, who did I not pick up on? So I obviously said hello to Vicky and Ali. Hello, Marianne. Hello, Fiona. So daylight saving started in New Zealand on Sunday, so it's 12:26 a.m. here. Wow. Well, at the end of October, we're going to, so our clocks fall back. So we lose an hour, gain an hour. I don't know why they fall back anyway. So yeah, so that's going to be interesting. Fiona, your sister's birthday was yesterday. You ended up making the trifold Mura Ori card. Excellent. Wow, fabulous. That sounds good. I remember making that card. It was interesting. Lots of angles. Hi, Ali. Just back from the hairdresser, so feeling marvellous. Oh, that's good. Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad. Hi, Anne. Hi, Nicole. 7:30 p.m. where you are. Excellent. Not too bad. Hi, Fiona. Again, my 79-year-old mum is on her last day of a month-long UK trip. Oh, yeah, of course. I remember you saying. Excuse the noises of if you can hear them. I have lots of motorbikes and boy racers racing up and down my road. So if you hear anything like that, that's what it is. Hi, Valerie. Isn't it? There's nothing like a trip to the hairdressers to make one feel good. Mind you, having said that, I haven't been to a hairdresser's for a long time. A very long time. A very, very, very long time. I cut my own hair, so there you go, because it's so long I can do something like that. Hi, Beth. Good to see you. Right, let me just see. Have I got am I up to date with everybody? Let me just double check. No, I'm not. Okay, who else we got? Let's have a look. I'm behind. My thing didn't update. Hi, Anika. Hi, Wilma. Hi, Liz W. Ali, you okay, Gainer now, right, okay. Hi, Joanne. Hi, Karen. Hi, Sherry. Hope to get other chores out the way so I can craft today. Yeah, that would be good. Hi, SD. Is it SD? I think it's SD. Hi, Jeanette. I'm good, thank you. Hi, Yvette. We're going to be on this time a while longer. 26th, we're swapping. Ah, okay, cool. Yeah, I think ours is the end of October, so we've got a while yet. Hi, Patricia. You like my version of the trifolds? It's still nice and bigger size. Cool. Excellent. I'm glad. Hi, Anne. Right, so today I thought, before we start with today, over on my Ko-fi page, I have just launched a membership tier over there, and I'm calling it the Crafty Classy Icicles. And so the idea was, because I've had a few requests over the last year or so for this, so I thought I would launch it. I'm hoping that it will all go to plan. But as you know, we might have some teething problems to start with, but hopefully it will all work out. So I'm hoping to do once a month to do a craft class for my Crafty Classy Icicles over on Ko-fi. So if you become a member of my Crafty Classy Icicles on Ko-fi, it's £15 a month. And what will happen is each month I'll send through what we're going to make, or if anybody wants to request stuff, maybe you want to actually make something we've done in a tutorial or we've done in a live stream or whatever, we can do that. And then I'll send across all like the measurements and whatever you need to get yourself ready. So you get your, and I think it's good if you use stuff from your own stash, then there's things that you might realize, oh gosh, I didn't realize I had that. I'll dig that out. I'll use that. That will work for this card. And so, yeah, so if you head over to Ko-fi, I've got my little Ko-fi video here somewhere. Oh, no, I did have it. For some reason, I downloaded all these, and then for some reason, they then wouldn't load. So there you go. So it's kofi.com/icedimages. I think there's a link in the description for it. I'm pretty sure there's a link in the description of this live stream for it. But yeah, go and click on that and it will take you over. And then under the membership bit, you can click on that. So what I'm thinking is, because obviously we're all on different time zones, I'm thinking if we do a maximum of 10 people per class, I'm going to do it on Google Meet, because you can do a video call on there, because that's the way I do my current craft classes for people who are in my area. So I'm thinking if you do it on Google Meet, all I will need is your email address so that I can then, I think you have to have a Gmail address. I think, possibly. So, but if you've got YouTube, then you will have a Gmail address, because obviously YouTube is part of Google, so you should have a Gmail account anyway. So yeah, so what I'll need is when you sign up to be a member on Ko-fi, if you then let me know your Gmail address as well, and because you can message me on Ko-fi, and then what we'll do is I can then sort out a time where like 10 of you can, or up to 10 can get on. And if we end up with people in Australia or that kind of area who, like, for now it's like it's half midnight or whatever, so we can bring it forward a little bit so it's a time you guys can do and I can do. And then for those of us who are the other end of the time zone, we'll work out a time for that. So maybe potentially for me it will be like 2 a month kind of thing, but obviously for you guys it's like once a month. And so that's where I was thinking of doing it. And that way I can fit like so if there's more than 10 people who want to do it, then I can kind of organise it so that we have like 10 per class, maximum of 10 per class. And then you get to ask me questions, we can talk to each other on the video, and yeah, like that. So that was the plan. So hopefully that works. We will see how it goes. Hi Patricia, it's 9:35 in Australia. Cool. Nola, hello Nola, I haven't seen you for ages. Cool. Hope you're doing all right. So it's 12:36 in New Zealand. Cool. Right. Okay. So today I thought we would do a 5x7 landscape version of the card we did last week, but not do 2 openings. So I haven't actually made a full one yet. This is my little sample card. So this is what I was thinking we could do. And then if we have something popped up here and also a greeting here, and then the whole thing folds flat like that and will fit in an envelope for a 5x7 card. So that's the plan. So that's what it's going to look like. You'll have space on the back to write as usual. I have done a video tutorial for this already, but the video tutorial I've done, it doesn't have the lapels and it's actually got an aperture in the middle. So it's different again. So check out the tutorial. I probably won't do a video tutorial for this because it's literally the same as the one I'm doing on Friday. It's just that I've just cut down, which I did last week. It's quite simple. It's quite straightforward. So yes, so that is the idea for today's card. I'm going to be using my Holly Spriggs paper pad. So this is the revised one from the one I did originally, like a year or so ago. And I've done it so that it's got 3 of each design. You've got colours on the back, and you've also got the ephemera in the back of it and the greetings and whatever. So that is all there. So that's the one we're using. So this is available on Amazon, and it's also available as a digital kit over in my Ko-fi shop as well. And I've revised the design slightly, as some of you already know. So this stripe is new. I've reorientated some of these, if that's a word, some of these designs, and I've narrowed that stripe down. So just had a bit of a rejig of it. But yeah, so that's the pad we are using. So let me grab my bits and bobs. That's what we've got. Thank you, Anika. 7:30 p.m. in Perth. Cool. See, it always baffles me how it can be like half midnight in New Zealand and then 7:30 in Perth, but it's all just time zones. And then 9:30 somewhere else in Australia. It's so mad. Nola, yes, thank you, but I haven't been able to do crafts since I've seen you last time, but after Christmas I'm back doing it. Cool. I hope you managed to get back onto it. Nicole, you're fed up with your left hand. Oh, bless you. Oh no, it must be so hard. Yes, no, I have a shop now. I know, over on Ko-fi. It's really good. I like having a Ko-fi shop. I know, well, quite, Rosemary, it is. It's such a big country. It's just difficult because obviously we live in the UK, and the UK seems big, but it's not compared to most places. So we are very sheltered over here, I have to say. Right, so for this card, you're going to need 2 pieces that are 5x7. Now, if you want to, you can get a 5x10. Sorry, a 7x10, score it, and then cut it in half to have 2 pieces. That would make things easier. I haven't done that, so we're going to have to just score each piece separately. Hi, Trudy. So yeah, so on the 5x7s, you want to score them both at 1 inch at 3.5, and at 6. And we're going to do the same on this one. So 1 inch, 3.5, and at 6. Now I'm expecting a phone call from my garage. So if I have to break off in the middle of this, then that will be why. Hopefully they'll ring me after, but I'm kind of expecting a call because I need to get something sorted out on my car. So yeah. So if I suddenly have to mute, that'll be why. And then you also need, and again, you could cut out one big bit that is 4 inches by 9 and then score along the 4-inch edge, the lines we're going to do in a minute, and then cut it up into 2 pieces that are 3 by 4 and 2 pieces that are 1.5 by 4. So you could do it that way. That would be easier. However, I forgot to do that. So we're going to score them all individually. So all of these pieces, you need to score along the 4-inch edge, and you're going to score at 1/2 inch, 1.5, 2.5, and 3.5. So we'll do that on all of our pieces. 1/2, 1.5, 2.5, and 3.5. I've also got a goal over on Ko-fi. I'm trying to raise money to get an Insta360 camera, and they're quite expensive, but it will really help with my travel channel, and it will potentially help with this as well, because it means if I go to a craft fair, I can kind of vlog it a bit better with better footage, and it's kind of discreet. It means I can kind of walk around with it. It's not that it's not that obvious. People don't necessarily know what it is because of what it looks like. And it means you can get some really good footage and do some crazy things with it. So I'm really, I'm saving up to get that. So if you want to help me out to try and get that, that would be good. Just go over to Ko-fi, and there's a bit where I've got like a goal, and it says on there I'm saving up for Insta360. Thank you very much to, I think it was Stephanie Jones, I think her name was, who's already donated. So thank you very much. Every little helps. Hi Bobby, 5:45 in the morning. Wow, okay, that's very early. Thank you for getting up early. Nicole, the UK can fit into just my state. I know, that's weird. Something like 11 or 17 times. Wow, that's crazy. I feel so small. I feel really small. Fiona, New Zealand is tiny too, but we do have 2 time zones. Oh yes, of course. Hi Louise, don't worry, don't worry. Right, okay, so then what we're going to do is on these 2 here, we're going to go valley, mountain, valley. So let me do that now. Valley, mountain, valley. The other thing as well is I had a phone call on Friday, and after that phone call, I am now in November, end of November, I will be going on another cruise. Can you believe it? This time to Morocco. I've never been to Morocco, and bearing in mind that I'd never been on a cruise in my life before this year, and then now having potentially being on 2 is crazy. So I really want to vlog Morocco, and that's another reason why I want the Insta360 before then, so I can vlog it properly with that cool camera. So yeah, I'm excited for that, very excited. Right, so that's those 2 done, and then these here, we're going to go ahead and just do mountain folds on all of these. Hi Sweet Pea. Oh good, I'm glad you got sunshine. We have too. Do like a bit of sunshine, especially autumnal sunshine. It's great. Lorraine, hi from Australia. Hello Lorraine. You've never heard of Ko-fi or what's it called, Patreon? Yeah, I was thinking about doing Patreon, but Ko-fi looks easier, and I like the way the website works. I find it easier to navigate, so that's why I went on Ko-fi. You did join Reddit on the weekend and found me. Excellent. Cool. That's good. I'm glad about that. Yeah, I do try and reply back on Reddit. I'm away again this week. I'm going to a board game convention on Thursday to Sunday. So I will be away again. I wanted to vlog that, but yeah, I might do. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But it just means I've got to really buckle down and get all my videos, ready and scheduled, because otherwise you guys have got nothing to watch. So There we go. Right. So there we go. That's that. I'm hoping to do a live stream on my travel channel. So for those of you who don't know, I have a travel channel called Suitcase Sites. And got a bit of a thing on my screen. Suitcase Sites. And let me see if I can... Oh, I haven't... Have I got it on here? No, I don't think I have. No, I haven't got it on here. I've got it on the other... on my external drive. Yeah, so I'm hoping to go live at some point over the weekend from the games place, from the board game convention. So if you want to go and subscribe to me on there and watch my videos, that would also help, because I'm trying to get monetized over on there, because then that will ultimately help this channel as well. Right. Okay. So now we've done that, let's start by decorating these. So these are little, and in total you're going to need 8 pieces. Slightly different sizes, but anyway, 8 pieces of pattern paper, and these are 3/4 by 1 1/4. And so we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you'll have 2 pieces spare. So don't worry about that, because we're going to be using them in a minute. Let's grab my pin. There we go. You were going to try and add a photo on my Reddit of your design I made, so you can see. Oh yes, please, if you could, Fiona, that would be great. When you first upload it, I think I have to like approve it. I've been sort of going on every now and then and just kind of checking and approving whatever's there. It just is a bit I'm not quite sure why it does that, but anyway. Right, these are a little bit short. This is the right one, isn't it? Yeah, it must be. Must be. These just feel a bit small. If you want to make these pattern pieces a little bit bigger, you can. Just wondering if I've cut them out right. Is that 1.5? Let me just double check. That's 1.5. Yeah, that is 1.5. Okay. No, I think because they're small pieces, you kind of notice the bigger gap. But you could make them slightly smaller if you wanted to. You've got 2 sets of suitcases to go to Japan in December. White Christmas. Okay, cool. Ran out of time today. Don't worry, Fiona. I run out of time every day, so I completely understand. Completely understand. Okay, so that's that one done. Let's put these pieces on here. Stick this one down. Also, everybody who's a member on YouTube of this channel, please email me and let me know what member content you'd like to see, because I'm getting a bit stuck, and I'm also very aware that I'm not doing a lot of special content for members. So please let me know what kind of thing you want to see, and then time willing I will try and fit it in. Because I was wondering, like, do we want to do just like members only live streams, or I don't know, members only videos content? I don't really know. Shorts maybe? I don't know. Let me know what you'd like to see. If you're a member, let me know. Right, so that's those 2 done, and I've got those 2 spare. So we need to keep hold of those. Then if we grab these ones here, we're going to need 4 pieces, and these are 3/4 by 2 3/4. And these are going to go just on the outside panels, but not in the middle. You need a whole case just to bring back Japanese sweets. Yeah. Hi, Carrie. Yeah, it's true. I have to say, when I went to Germany, I did leave space in my suitcase, just in case I had like sweets and, you know, stuff I needed to bring back, snacks and whatever. So that was a good plan. That was definitely a good plan. So yeah. And I'm off to London in a couple of weeks as well for a church conference I go to every year. So again, I would quite like to do a vlog at that as well when I'm in London. We will see. Hopefully we do. And I'll go, because I did a vlog last year when I went to London, but I just did Camden and Covent Garden. So this year I think I might do some other place. And because also I'm going to be staying slightly out of London, kind of east. Yeah, it is London, but it's like out. It's not in the centre. So it's going to be more countryside and stuff. But yeah, should be good. Okay. Right, so that is that stuck down. Now, the other thing I want to do before we start assembling is on one of these pieces. Let me just, I think they're the same. Yeah, they are the same size. So on one of these pieces, on the back here, so this is going to be the back of my card, I want to go ahead and stick 2 bits on that are 3/4 by 4 3/4. So these are going to go here and here. And you don't have to do these bits, but I just think they look nice. I think they add extra decoration, so that's why. Hi Pink, don't worry. Bobby, the first time I watched you, you were using a pin to remove the tape covers. Oh, I know, it's good, isn't it? For years I struggled. And then I managed to use my nails, and I kind of managed with nails, but yeah, it was a bit. And then I think when I used to, because I used to do my, like, paint my nails or whatever, and have, like, gel wraps and stuff, and then it became a bit more tricky, and then I just thought, right, you know what, let me just do this pin thing and see if it works, and it's so much better. I wish I'd done it years ago. I really do. And I like this one because it's got that little it's a hat pin, but it's got that big end on it. And I think this was a Trimcraft one, I think. I think this was from one of their kits, like a Dovecraft kit, and they had a whole load of these, and I managed to keep one of them. I don't know where the others went. But it's helpful because you've got kind of a bit more to hold on to. It's a bit chunkier than like a normal pin. But yeah, or a pokey tool, anything like that. But it just works really well. Do like that little hack. I just wish I'd known that when I was a demonstrator, because it would have made life a lot easier. Right, let's get rid of that. So that's those 2 bits. What have you missed? You haven't missed a great deal. We are making a version of the card we did last week. So this is my little sample. So it's a 5x7, but landscape this time. And I've done a tutorial for this, but not for this lapel bit. I've done it with an aperture in the middle. So on Friday, the video on Friday is basically kind of this card, but it's got an aperture in the middle, so it's different again. I kind of always get a bit like, I don't like doing the same thing in a live stream as I'm doing for the tutorial, but I understand there are people who don't watch the live streams who only want to see the tutorials, so therefore they want to see the actual, you know, what we've done. But yeah, I mean, it's our little secret, isn't it? It's one of the perks of watching a live stream. It's basically the same card. It's just I've done slightly different on that one. Right, so let me grab my stamping platform, and then I've got lots of heat embossing powder in here from when I did my heat embossing. Okay, so then you're going to need 2 pieces of white, and these are 2 1/4 by 4 3/4. I'm just going to stamp a greeting on one of them. And I'm going to use, I've got a little Happy Christmas here. So I'm going to use that because it fits. So there's my little Happy Christmas. Hopefully it's straight. Is that straight? Yeah, that's kind of straight. Right, so let's just grab a bit of wet wipe. And I need to cut these up again because I've got a big wet. I always do this. I get a big wet wipe, but then what I do is I cut it up into quarters because I don't need a whole wet wipe just for cleaning off one little tiny stamp. So I get a wet wipe, and it means they last longer as well. And then I just cut it in half and then in half again. So you've got quarters, and that's literally all I need to wipe a little stamp with. So let's put those 3 back in there. And then I need to grab my ink pad. There it is. Where are we? Old New Zealand school friend lives in Tokyo. On a recent New Zealand holiday, took a whole suitcase of New Zealand food home, including cat treats. That's fabulous. That's so cool. I mean, you know, that's one thing I love traveling anyway. One thing I really love about traveling is getting to try foods from other countries. I just think it's so cool. Obviously, you guys will have probably seen the Norwegian snack video that I did. I just had so many good snacks in Norway and in Germany. I had so many good snacks in Germany as well. I will be bringing out the Germany vlog soon on my Suitcase Sites channel. That will be coming soon. I've just put up Wimbledon, so if you want to see what happens at Wimbledon, then that is over on my Suitcase Site channel. It's already up. That went up on Sunday. Right, let's stick this down. So these are going to go on here. I'm going to go here and here. If you want to do one pattern and one white, you could. I'm going to leave them as 2 white just for symmetry. I mean, I could probably have done 2 patterns, but anyway, I haven't, so whatever. Yeah. Looks like a man's shirt with sleeves. It does, Pink. It does. And actually it would work really well as a Father's Day card or like, you know, a masculine card. Yeah. So you could even turn it into like a football jersey or something like that, maybe. But yeah, it does. It does. Or even like a Christmas jumper. That was the other thing. Because it's got 2 pillars, but you could just do 1 pillar either side. So it's got 4 pillars in total. You could just do it with 2, 1 either side, and make those into sleeves. So yeah, that's another option. That would be quite cool. That would be quite cool. Thank you. I'm glad you got the paper. She did a YouTube video of the shopping. Was a giggle. Is that me? I did a YouTube or somebody else. I can't remember. Right, there we go. Oh no, your friend, your New Zealand friend, did a YouTube video of the shopping. Oh, fabulous. I bet that was fun. I do love things like that. You like the wet wipe tip? Yeah, it's a good little tip. It is a good little tip. Right, so that's that one done. So now we're going to come to this, and we are going to grab a pencil. This pencil's not very sharp, but it will have to do for now. And we're going to come down this center fold, and we're going to mark at 2.5, which is here, because that is what the width of our pillars, our thing is. So I've marked 2.5, which is obviously halfway down, because our whole thing is 5 inches. And then I'm going to bring in a mat and also a Stanley knife or craft knife or whatever. And then I'm going to cut. And what I'm going to do, because last time I didn't do this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut one side of the score line and stop at that pencil mark. And then I'm going to come the other side of that score line and stop at the pencil mark, just so that then I haven't got a score line in the way. And I'm just going to do a little thing there. So I'm literally cutting a sliver. I'm literally cutting the score line out. It's the tiniest of slivers, like that. You don't have to do that. I didn't do that on my sample, but I just think that it's better if you do. My vacuum seals with me. Hopefully I can bring things back with me. Yeah, that's a good idea. That is a good idea. Bobby, you watched my video on adhesives. Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad it wasn't comprehensive by any stretch of the imagination, but you know, it was okay. Hi Jane, good to see you. Nicole, well, that is why you travel to experience new foods and cultures. I don't travel with my in-laws because they only eat hot chips when traveling. They don't eat hot chips at home. That's hilarious. That's so funny. Right, so then we're going to swap that and we're going to bring in my cork board, and then we want a ruler and we want a one of these things, whatever that's called, and then we're going to score from that pencil line up to the top of the like this score line, but on this side, like that. And then we're going to do the same on this side. And you want to make sure you're pressing enough, but you also want to make sure you've, you know, so that side scored a bit better than that side. But anyway, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this down and I'm going to try and make sure that that is kind of a right angle there. So that is like that. Then we're going to bring this down and marry that up, and that's like that. So there's your lapel-y bit. Now, one thing I want to do is measure out the pattern paper. Now you could use measurements, but I'm just going to go with like doing it by eye because I think that's going to work out better. So for the front, I've got this, which is the same as we've got on the pillars. I decided to just go all the whole thing. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that on there like that and just line it up. And then what I'm going to do, I'm not going to measure. I'm literally going to hold that in place so it's got an even border. It's all nice and even. And I'm going to fold the whole thing over. And because this paper isn't that thick, it folds nicely without any problems. So that is that folded. I'm going to do the same on this one. This is like a really cheat way of doing it, but it actually works really well. So that's why I'm doing it. Just got to make sure it's right up in that crease when you fold it. Fold it over like that. There we go. I'm just going to make sure that's actually, here we go, like that. And then put that to one side. I need to bring my cutting mat back in again. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my metal ruler in. Just going to turn this over. And on the other side, are we all good? My thing's just flashed. Oh, what's going on? Oh no. Oh dear. Okay. I might be having a problem with my don't know. Anyway, and then what I'm going to do on this side is I'm going to, so where my fold line is, I'm just going to cut to one side of it by a bit. So that's kind of what the border is there. And I'm just going to cut that off like that. And then hopefully that will fit there. And it does. Fabulous. So that's literally so I'm literally going to put that on there, just going to eye it, bring it down slightly, cut that down like that. And then these triangles here, I'm not sure what to do with those triangles. They're just going to be there. That's like that. Are there any other kind of chips, or do they eat them cold? Oh. Right, so before we stick this on, I'm going to go ahead and add a little tab because last time I forgot. And so, yeah, the flash and it froze briefly. I don't know what's going on. I had trouble this morning because the little video that you guys, little countdown video that you guys see, I downloaded it. And now for some reason, it's actually just gone grey, which means that my end screen video, it's not going to show. So let me quickly add that in now. I am not I really don't know what's going on. But anyway, let's just add that in there. And then hopefully that's ready for when I finish. Okay, I don't really know what's happening. But yeah, it said earlier, it said something about Wi-Fi or something. But my Wi-Fi should be fine. So I don't know. Right, before I stick this down, I have got myself two little pieces that are roughly 1 inch by 1 inch. Roughly. Okay, and then what we're going to do is, let me just move these out of the way. So these two pieces are roughly 1 inch by 1 inch. They were just kind of scrap pieces. So on the inch side, I'm going to score them halfway at 1/2 inch. Same with this one, halfway at 1/2 inch. Now, while I've got my scoreboard here, let's just do the other bits of scoring. And this is for the bit that's going to go inside. And you won't understand what I'm saying for now, but you'll see in a minute what I mean. So for these, you need, well, I wrote down that you need 2 pieces. So this is what I used on my, so on the tutorial I did, where I did the aperture, the piece that you can see through the aperture, the little hinges were 1 1/4 by 2 1/4. This piece here is like 1 1/8 by 2 1/4. As long as you've got the 2 1/4 length, that's the main thing. So you want to score on the 2 1/4 length at 1/2 inch and at 1 3/4. And you can do that on both pieces. And obviously, if you want to do it slightly tall or slightly, you know, not quite as tall, that is all fine as well. Okay, so let's just leave those there. We'll come back to those. So these 2 tabs here, you want to make sure whatever you're putting on the front here, it's not going to be taller than that. So I've got this Joy die. So this is an In Love Art Shop one. And I am back with In Love Arts again. I've decided to give them another chance. So I'm going to be working with In Love Arts again. So it's the usual. Let me find my code. Okay, let me just, right. It's iced 20. Hang on a second, is it iced 20? Let me look up on my little thing. Iced images. It's iced images all in one word, and that gets you 20% off, I believe. 20% off your order. So yeah, I'm not sure if you have to spend a certain amount to get free delivery. I think you do. It's easily done though, to be fair. They've got that much good stuff over there. So this die, I've had this die for a while, but they've still got it on their site, and it's a very nice die. So that is that one. And I'm also going to be using these poinsettias. Again, these are from In Love, and again, these are old ones that I've had from last year, but I love them. So these are still available as well. So same applies. Iced images all in one word, and that gets you 20% off. So they've got these lovely little fancy frilly ones, and then they have the coordinating bigger ones that go behind. So I'm going to be using those on this card as well. So that is that. So this one here, let's just fold these in half. Well, there is crunchy chips, crisps, and hot chips, but we call them all chips in Australia. Yeah, see, we've got chips, which is what Americans called fries. So we have chips, and then our crisps. So what you guys call chips, we call crisps. They are the ones you get in a packet, like Lay's or Walker's or whatever. So that's what we call crisps. It's all very confusing. And now you want hot chips for dinner for some reason. See, the kind of chips I like are curly fries. Do love a curly fry. Yes, please. Right, so I'm going to go ahead and I am going to stick this on here. So I'm going to put some glue, or you can use red tape, just on one side. And then we're going to stick it down so that the score line lines up with this center score line. And I'm going to make sure that it's kind of central, top and bottom. I don't think I'm going to need to cut this down, but I might need to. Looks like I put a bit too much glue on, so that's always helpful. So I'm just going to leave that there and let that kind of sort itself out. You had them for tea? Oh, yum. Yeah, so, yeah, I thought hot chips were French fries, but then I didn't know whether hot chips might be spicy hot, if that's what it meant by hot. I don't know. There's too many different things going on. So this one's going to go on the other way around, like that, and just butt up with that one on the front. Now, thankfully, because it falls flat like this, it means that you don't have to worry too much about stuff. So I'm going to leave it like that. We'll stick the greeting on in a minute. If it is a potato and cooked, I will eat it, whatever the name. I will, apart from mashed. I don't like mashed potato, but pretty much anything else. Right, so now we can go ahead and stick these on here. And as you can see, I've managed to cover up my tabs this time around. So let's stick these down. Stick these down. Pretty poinsettia dies. Yeah, they are, aren't they? They really are. You said you used to be a demonstrator. Who with? Well, I started off with Trimcraft, who are now called DRK Crafts. So I started off with them, and then I got kind of emailed by Do Crafts to be a demonstrator with them. And I said to them, I will do it as long as you understand that Trimcraft comes first. My allegiance is with them. So they get first refusal, and then whatever else I can do around that, I will do with you. So that's what I did. So yeah, absolutely loved it. Loved it so much. The only reason I stopped was because of COVID and all the demos dried up. I was so annoyed because I absolutely loved that job. Really did. Got to drive around the UK, different places, going to the range. Used to demonstrate in the range here in the UK. But used to drive all over. Most demonstrators would only do it within a certain radius of where they lived. But I was like, hey, you send me anywhere. So I used to go up to, I went up to Grimsby once. That was far. I went down to Devon as well at one point. I went all over. Hereford, Redditch. I went all over the shop. It was wonderful. I loved it. Absolutely loved that job. Sad days when that stopped. Okay, so that's that bit there. Now, you don't have to put anything on here, but you can. So I'm going to put something on here. So I've cut out a piece of paper that is 2 by 2. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it in half diagonally. Now, I might end up with stripes going the wrong way. I think I'm going to be okay, but I'm not entirely sure. Oh, well, that was not the cutting mat I was expecting. But anyway, it's like a magical mystery down here. I reached down for something and I end up with some random thing. It's magic. I've just managed to increase the size of my cutting mat. Right, I'm going to cut this down here. Now, if you were sticking this down with tape, then I would suggest you put double-sided tape on the back of that before you cut it. That would make things interesting. No idea how I managed to grab a bigger board. Anyway, I have. Hey ho. Right. So, if I put that like that. Oh yeah, my stripes are going to go the wrong way. Oh, that's a shame. Oh dear. What's on the other side of this? Green. Maybe I'll just go plain dark green. I think we're going to go plain dark green. Well, let's just go plain dark green, and we can always decorate it with something else. Yeah, we're going to do that because I don't like the idea of my stripes being all wonky. Don't want wonky stripes. Chips, crisps, fries, baked, mashed, scallop, yum yum. Alison, you like them all. I like a hash brown. I like fries. Not that bothered about a jacket potato. I'll eat it, but not that fussed. What else? Curly fries I quite like. French fries I like. Don't like mashed. Scalloped. I'm not sure if have I had scalloped? Not sure. Not sure if I've had scalloped. I just cannot hear the word diagonally anymore. My brain goes diagon alley. Sort of thing my brain would do, that is. That's funny. That is funny. Hash browns, you don't get them. Oh, I love a hash brown. Mind you, I want a hash brown without onions in it because sometimes hash browns have onions in them, and then I'm not that fussed. But just a normal potato based, just potatoes hash brown. Yes, please. It has to be a good one though, not too oily, not too greasy. But I do like a hash brown. I like the texture of a hash brown. Might make it for breakfast. Oh, the other thing I like is potato cakes. My mum used to make potato cakes. Absolutely love them. Fabulous things. Right, so we got to this point. So then on this piece here, if we turn it over, on the inside, we're going to add 2 pattern pieces. However, before we... Oh, no, actually, no, we need to add the pattern pieces first and then add our little extra bits. So I've got 2 pieces, and again, these are 2 1/4 by 4 3/4. So these are the same size as the others, the white and also the other ones. So we're going to stick these down. Use the triangles I cut off. Yeah, I could, but I didn't want to use... I've done it now. Oh, I could have gone with the lighter green, couldn't I? I didn't want to use the berry again because I feel like I've got a lot of berries going on. But I could have gone with the lighter green. Never mind. I mean, I suppose I could go with the lighter green on top of the darker green and just matte and layer them maybe. But no, I think it'll be all right. We'll see. We'll see if we need to add anything else onto it once we've got everything into place. But we might not need to because there is quite a bit going on. So I think we'll leave it as it is. Hopefully, yeah. My material grandmother was Scottish, so I think that is where it comes from. Ah, Duchess potatoes. Okay. Yeah, potato pancakes. I think that's quite similar to potato cakes. Homemade hash browns in the waffle maker, 0 onions. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, there was a lady online called the Cake Tunist. She's on Instagram. She's probably on TikTok, but I'm not on TikTok, so I don't know. But she does these great little videos, and she did a whole series last year, and she did a few more this year actually, about waffles, doing waffles, different kinds of waffles, and she did some fabulous waffles. And I reckon you could probably do like a potato-y cake type thing, but in the waffle maker. I reckon that would be superb. Right, now we need to add, so these bits here, we are going to need to add these on, but I'm not going to do them just yet because I want to get it all kind of stuck together before so I can see where it needs to be. So I think the next step is now to add our either glue or red tape onto these bits here. I'm going to go with glue, which I think is a bit daring because it could squidge out, but I'm going to try and be careful. So glue on there, and then bring this piece in, line it up and stick it down like this. There we go, get that stuck down. Oh, that's the only problem with glue, is it does move. Need to make sure it's nice and in. Oh, no, I've moved it again. Just make sure it's all lined up. Wipe away any excess glue. See, that's now wonky, so let me just shimmy that down before it's completely dry. There we go. Right, I'm going to leave that to dry now, because if I move that again now, it's going to... I've got the glue on my mat. It's always helpful. You like the contrast of the dark green? Good. Yeah, I do actually. Thinking about it, I think because you've got the dark green on the script behind, that helps. You do zucchini and carrot gluten-free waffles. Oh, that sounds nice. Yesterday I made some avocado biscuits, American biscuits, what we would call a scone, a scone, and they did come out like a scone or a scone, but scones, biscuits, they're pretty much the same thing, to be fair. Literally are. I did have a Popeyes biscuit when I was in Germany at the airport. Well, actually, it wasn't in Germany. It was actually in Birmingham at the airport. And I really liked it. So I would love to try a genuine American biscuit because, yeah, they're very much like a scone, but it just felt a bit more like crispy, crunchy on the outside and then soft and fluffy on the inside. Very nice. I can see why there's a whole load of hype about biscuits. They are very nice. But yeah, see, again, that's another thing, isn't it? In America, biscuits are what we would call a scone or a scone, depending where you're from. And in America, you call them biscuits. But over here, a biscuit is crunchy and crisp. And you guys would probably call them cookies. But for us, a cookie is somewhat different. It's a kind of biscuit, but it's not the same. It gets very confusing. Right, so just checking I've done that the right way up, and I have, so that's good. Okay, so that's where we're up to so far. So if you wanted to, you could stop here and you could just whack your little greeting on the front, put some in the middle, put some strips down the side and have that. You could stop here. But I'm not going to stop here. I'm going to keep going. So, Duchess potatoes consist of a puree of... Yeah, see, I can't do Duchess potatoes because you've got the puree mashed potato. Egg, yolk and butter, which is forced from a piping bag or hand moulded into various shapes and baked in an oven until golden. I find that lining things up on a scoreboard in the corner. Yeah, that's good. The only thing with that is, Alison, is I end up with glue on my scoreboard. And if it goes into the grooves, it's really nightmare to get off. Southern buttermilk biscuit. Oh, that sounds nice. I could eat a southern buttermilk biscuit right now. Right, so I think the next thing to do would be to add the pillars on the side, and then we'll add the greeting, and then we'll add the bit in the middle. Although actually, maybe we should add the bit in the middle now. Let me think about this. Right. Yeah, I think I might add the bit in the middle now, because I think I'm going to have to battle past pillars otherwise. So let me do that now. So your two pieces that we had at the beginning, which were 1 1/4 by 2 1/4, and we scored them at 1/2 inch and 1 3/4. You want to fold them so you've got one as a mountain and one as a valley, like that. And then I'm going to use red tape on this because I don't want this moving around, and I think it might well move. So let's just fold that over like that. So for the tape on this, just grab my red tape, which is over here on a pile on top of my Gemini machine. Oh, there we go. And I also need a pair of scissors. Okay, so on this, what we're going to do is we turn them. So I've done them like that, so little S shapes. On the bits that fold under, so these bits here. So imagine this is the way up you've got it, like that. You want to put tape on here and tape on here, but then you want to put tape on here. So you're basically putting tape on one side, but so not on the right side of the same side of both tabs, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. You'll see in a minute what I mean. Difficult to explain. So we're going to put red tape on here, like this. Now I should really wash my scissor blades, give my scissor blades a wipe with a wet wipe first, because then we're not going to end up with stickiness. Okay. And then this is the other, oh, that's the one I've just done. So I need to do this one. Okay. Just double check where you're sticking them. Otherwise you're going to end up like I almost did, sticking them on the wrong side. So that is that. There we go. So they've got one here. We've got tape here. And if you turn it over, we've got tape here. Okay. So we're going to repeat that on this piece here. I might just cut a piece out that I think is the right length. If it's a bit big, I can always fold it over. So that's that. Okie dokie. Duchess plays sound lovely, but at my age, too fussy to make. But I would love them if somebody else was doing all the piping. I was thinking of stopping there, but I would have to do more too, yeah. If you put vellum in the two front panels over a cutout aperture, this card could turn into a votive. It could turn into a light holder. So check out the tutorial on Friday, because I've got the aperture on that. And yeah, you could very much do that. That would be cool. That would be cool. Right, let's just fold this bit over like that. Put that down. So then what we're going to do is I'm going to grab this now. I'm going to take the backing off this piece, fold it under like that, and then what I want to do is I want to line this score line up with this bit here. I also need to just quickly grab my largest thing, which is this, and just work out where it needs to be. So it needs to be there, which means that this needs to be kind of there, I would say. Yeah. And I might end up having to trim my tab down a bit. Anyway, it might be all right, actually. So I'm going to put it about there, I think. Yeah. Now I could have done this in white. I could have done this in another colour, but I've done it in red just because that's what the base is. So when you fold that back, that should line up with that centre score line. So maybe you can see that. Can you see how that's attached there? It's like a little S sticking out. And then I'm going to do the same on this one, but I'm going to take this one and I'm going to turn it round. So now this bit is on the right hand side. So it's the opposite way round. I'm going to take the backing off this tape here, fold it under, I'm going to fold that back on itself. So I've got my little S shape that way around. And then this is going to go in here and we're going to stick it so it nudges right up to the one we've just stuck down. So like that. So hopefully you can see you've got two little, you see you've got two little S-shaped Z pieces stuck on. Okay. Hi Sally. What is this wet wipe sorcery? Well, you see, we have magic tricks. If you get a wet wipe and you rub it over your scissors like that, and then cut tape, as long as you do it straight away, you don't end up with stickiness on your scissors, because you've got a bit of the residue of the wet wipe left on your scissors, and then when you cut, it means you don't end up with stickiness. It's fabulous. It's particularly good for cutting foam tape. So if you're cutting foam tape, you know you always end up with a bit of foam stuck on your scissors. Well, if you just wipe them with a wet wipe first, then you don't end up with that problem. Right, so that's there like that. Now, that then means that we can go ahead and stick our poinsettia on the top. Now, I have just realised, yeah, it's going to be, I think it's going to be a little bit, okay, we're going to have gluey bits. So I think what we'll do, but actually having said that, I was going to turn this, by the time I've layered them up, I reckon I probably will have covered all of that. So let's just go for it. I was going to leave this till the end, but I think if we get the big one on first. So we're going to take the backing off of that tab there and off of that tab there. And obviously if you've got a big piece, you know, like a chunky thing to stick on the top, it's not so bad. You could also do this before you stick this on, but as I said, I didn't quite know where my lapels were. I suppose you could lay it on and have a look. And then I'm going to take my, I just need to make sure it doesn't stick to the lapels. I'm going to take my poinsettia, just going to stick it in here. This is going to be a bit tricky. I think maybe what I'm going to do is actually lay it flat and then stick it down. I want to make sure that it doesn't stick up above the top of my card. So I'm going to put it about there, like that, and then just flip those bottom bits in. There we go. And then turn that round, and that is going to go on there. And I am going to need to add a bit of extra tape on there, even though I've got stickiness. So I'm just going to put a little bit of tape on the back there. Now, I could use a glue dot, but no, I'm going to go red tape, I think. So let's stick that down onto there, like that. There we go. Right, so let's grab this, put that in there. Just got to make sure it's nice and central. I reckon about there. There's still a little bit of stickiness coming through, but it's okay, because what I was thinking of doing was getting, and I've got 2 more here, and I don't know if I'm going to use them all. I think I might just go with the smaller one. If I go with the smaller one and put it on like that, yeah, I think we'll do that. So let's grab a tiny bit of tape, and I'm going to cut that in half. Like that. I didn't wet wipe my scissors, so I'll probably pay for that later. Okay, so that's that there. And then I'm going to put that in so it's the same way as that poinsettia. Like that. And then I'm going to grab my little one, and that's going to go over the top, and then that will hopefully be facing the right way up. So at the moment it looks upside down. So let's grab that. That's going to go here, like that. There we go. And then all we need to do is I just need to put a gem in the middle. Now, obviously you can see all this red, so that's what I'm saying. You might want to make that the same colour as whatever your backing is, but I don't mind it. It's not so bad. It's not too bad. It's there now, so it's tough bananas. Right. So what we got? Red tape on red card. I do. Well, it's not too bad because you can feel it, so it's not too bad. You're putting this into practice immediately. Fabulous. It looks like a bow tie bursting out of a man's shirt. Yeah, you could do that. You could do that. Right, I'm going to leave that one. We might use that somewhere else. And then we're going to go ahead and do the pillars. So grab your 2 bigger pillars. I'm going to use wet glue. I would use red tape, but I'm going to use with a snazzy waistcoat to boot. Yes. Yeah, you could. That would be so good as a men's card. Right, so we're going to put a bit of glue on here. There we go. And then we're going to fold that over like that. And then line that score line up with the end here, the edge. Like that. And along the bottom as well. Oops. There we go, like that. And then I'm just going to let that dry and do the other side. I don't want that moving. And you want to make sure it lines up along the bottom, otherwise it'll kind of ice itself. So let's add a bit of wet glue on here. I'm trying to be really frugal with the glue so we don't end up with it going everywhere. Fold that under, and then we're going to line that up along that right hand side and also along the bottom, like that. There we go. Let's open that up. There we go. Right, so hopefully this will have pretty much stuck. So now we want to go ahead and add some more glue on here. And then this time what we want to do is we're going to fold it because it needs to fold this way in. So if you fold it on the second score line in like that and fold it down flat, and then that means then you know it's going to fit flat in your envelope. You're not going to battle with it. And that's very important. Okay, so that's like that. I'm going to just pop it up because I can see a bit of leakage going on. You also want to just double check, and actually mine have turned out all right, but you want to make sure that your two bits in the middle there, your two tabs in the middle, aren't overlapping. I haven't checked that. You should probably check that before you go to stick it down. And then we're going to do the same on this side. So let's add a little bit of glue on there. And then again, fold it over, and then second score line from the opposite side. So here, so you've got two panels, and just stick that down. And again, I would pop it up using wet glue, just pop it up and just make sure it's not leaking everywhere, which it's not. So that is what we've got so far. Now these lapels sort of get in the way, but they sort of don't. Once you've sorted out your pillars, when it's stood up, because your pillars will go out. So obviously when you fold it down, they go in, but when you open it up, they kind of pop out. So then they're not in the way of the lapel. So then we need to add our little ones in, which are these. So we're going to go ahead and add some, let me just check I'm not missing anything. Add some glue onto this one here, this tab here. Fold it over, and then this time you're going to line that folded edge up with this folded edge here, and then also along the bottom. So just fold your little tabs that you stuck down kind of out of the way while you stick this down. So that's that one. And I'm going to do this side so that I'm not moving this around. That doesn't look straight, but yeah, it must be. Yeah, it's straight. Okay. And then we'll do the same on this side. So add a bit of glue on there. Fold that over, and then line that up along that side there and along the bottom. Like that. Oh, it's moving. There we go. Oh gosh, that's a bit of an excess of glue going on there. There we go, that's better. Okay, so then we come back to this side again. Add a little bit of glue on there. That was a bit too much glue, but anywho. And then this time what we're going to do is the same as we've done with this. So we're going to fold it over and along that second line and fold the whole thing flat. So you're going to be able to do these in your dreams soon. The amount of ones I've done of this. I've done a 6x6, I've done a 5x7 portrait, and now 5x7 landscape. Right, so that is that. Like that. We just be careful with that because, okay, just leave it. We'll come back and do it in a minute. And then this side, we're going to do the same again. So add a little bit of glue on there. Fold that over. Fold the second score line across. Make sure you are checking which one you're folding across, because if you get it wrong, you'll end up with not a pillar. You'll end up with some weird shape. Just get rid of the excess glue there. There we go. I've got a bit of leakage. Okay, so that's that for now. I'm not going to move them because I don't want to, because they're still drying. So in the meantime, while we're waiting for them to dry, we can go ahead and do these two bits here. So for this, you need, remember your two little bits you had spare? Well, they're going to go there and there. Okay, so your two little, you know, the 8 pieces you had that were 3/4 by 1 1/4, they're going to go on there. And again, if you want to, you don't have to have all this the same pattern. I just did it because it was easier. I couldn't decide what other pattern I wanted, so I thought, you know what, let's just go with berries everywhere. So that is going to go in there, like that. This one here is going to go on the other side. On here. Like that. And then you just need 2 pieces that are 3/4 by 1 3/4. They're just a little bit bigger. And these are going to go top and bottom there. Like that. We've got a lot of berries going on. That's no reason why I didn't want to put berries on the lapel, because I feel like we've just got berries everywhere. Berry, berry feast. Okay, so that's going to go on there like that. And that looks like it almost like the pattern continues, which is interesting. That wasn't planned, but anywho. Okay. So that's going to go in here. Like that. There we go. Okie dokie. Right, so that's where we're at the moment. So I can probably bend these back. Okay, so that's where we're at the moment. It does kind of bring it all together. That's what I thought. I thought there's quite a lot going on. I don't want to have too many patterns. And then we just need to go ahead and add our little greeting on the front. So I've got the joy, and I'm going to use red tape. Let's use red tape. Let's use a bit of red tape. Oh, don't forget the magic. Hi, Mickey. Good to see you. Good to see you. Let's just give that a quick wipe. And then find the end of my tape, which is here. I'm going to cut a piece. I'm going to guess it about there. About there. Roughly. And then let's stick that onto here. Oh, look at that. Perfect. That was a perfect measurement. Wow. Not quite sure how I did that. Anyway, oh, and that one. Wow. Look at me. Okay, so let's take the backing off of both of those, and you have to make sure they don't stick together because they want to pop up and attach to each other. Going to grab our joy, and then that is going to go in the middle here. Make sure it's straight as well. There we go. So then when you stand it all up, that's what you end up with. So you've got your joy on the front, standing up, you've got your thing in the middle, you've got your pillars. I mean, if you wanted to really go for it, you could have things come out the pillars as well. Just make sure that when you fold it down, they don't come outside of your footprint. And then on the back, you've got space to write. So there you go. That is it. I was really pleased with the way it's turned out, actually. Even just from doing that sample card, a little prototype, I was like, oh yes, I can see this would be good. And there's so much you could do with it. And as you said, you could do a whole man's card with that, a whole male card. The only thing I want to do is add a little gem in the middle there. Let me quickly grab my gems and add a quick gem in the middle. I think we probably need to go red, I think, probably, won't we? I think we need to go with a red one. One of these looks, yeah, one of these looks good. Yeah, I'm just gonna stick it on, hope this adhesive is enough. I think it'll be enough. There we go. Yeah, that's good. It just adds a little bit extra, a little bit of extra bling-a-ling, which is good. Let's stick these back in here, put these away. Oh gosh, come on. Get in. Cool. Thank you very much, everybody. I'm glad you like it. And relatively simple to make. Like, there's not that many bits of pattern paper to cut out. Obviously, you've got your strips, your 3/4 inch strips, but you can just literally, if you've got like an A4 pattern paper, you can just cut 3/4 down the, you know, the height of it, and then just put tape on the back, and then just cut it into the lengths you need, and that makes it easier. So yeah, I'm pleased with the way that's turned out. So yeah, there you go. And as I said, I've got the tutorial for this coming up on Friday, and it will be for the aperture. So yeah. So I hope you all enjoyed it. Don't forget, if you want to join part of my want to become a member on Ko-fi, I'm going to be sorting out the crafty classy icicles. So we're going to have a craft class, and hopefully this will work. Yeah, there we go. So we're going to have a craft class, and it will be over on Ko-fi. The link to Ko-fi is in the description below this video, I believe. and all the details are over on Ko-fi. So if you want to go and have a look over there, please do. It's going to be good. I'm going to try and do them once a month. So yeah, if you want to join. The papers I've used on this, for those of you who joined a bit later on and didn't see it, are these from my revised Holly Spriggs pad. This pad's available on Amazon, and it's also available as a digital kit in my Ko-fi shop as well. So yeah, the card base itself is, let me have a quick look, I think it's oh gosh, I almost fell off my chair. 260. So the card base that I've used, the red card, is 260 GSM, and then the paper is about 100. It's nice and thin. It's good for this. It means it's not too chunky. So this will fit folded down like that. It will fit in an envelope for a 5x7 card, and the gem isn't too big. I reckon that would probably go through the post in the UK. As long as you don't use anything too chunky on your embellishments, then it will fit through post, hopefully. Yeah, I would say 260 GSM for a base card is a good, it's perfect, to be honest with you. So yeah, the Joy and the poinsettia both came from In Love Art Shop, and I've got a code for them, which is iced images, all in one word, and that will get you 20% off your order. Let me just alter this because this still has the old code on it, and then I can get it up on the screen. Save. There we go. So iced images. So that was for the Joy and the poinsettia. I haven't linked it in the description yet, but I will do after this. Yeah. So yeah, there you go. Right, I am going to poot off. Thank you, everybody. Pootle off. So you've enjoyed it, Nola. Good, I'm glad. So yeah, so I'm going to pootle off. You could add some bits on here, but I don't think it needs it. I think the eye takes you down the middle, based on the back to right. So yeah, have a bit of a play. Show me whatever you make. You can put them on Reddit. All the links are in the description below. I've also got Pinterest, but I don't check it that often. But Reddit's probably the best place because I get notifications on my phone for that. So yeah. But yeah, hope you enjoyed it, and I'm going to poodle off. So yeah, have a good rest of your day. I will see you all again next week. If you want to help me get to my goal on Ko-fi, then please go and check that out. Just go and check Ko-fi out because there's a lot of stuff on there. So yeah, and I'll see you all again next time. Bye, everyone.